Welcome to 5 Zen Wisdom Stories. In the realm of imagination, where stories carry whispers of ancient truths and the rustling of leaves holds the promise of profound lessons, we find ourselves drawn into a world where wisdom flows like a gentle stream and tranquility reigns like a calm oasis. These are the tales that invite us to pause, reflect, and discover the timeless teachings that lie within. In the village nestled between mountains and rivers, we encounter May, an old woman of serene wisdom, and learn from her the art of releasing worries, like pebbles dropped into a flowing river, in The Pebble's Wisdom. Journeying to a monastery atop a hill, we meet Aki, a novice eager to prove himself. Yet, it is the patient guidance of the head monk and the garden's quiet harmony that teach him the delicate dance between effort and acceptance in the garden of harmony. In the presence of a humble tea ceremony, we come face to face with Hiro, a scholar whose cup overflows with knowledge. Through the enigmatic actions of a Zen master, we uncover the profound truth that true understanding begins with emptying the cup of preconceptions in the empty teacup. Amidst the swaying bamboo of a mystical grove, we encounter Ryu, a young shoot longing for rapid growth. Under the tutelage of the ancient Zenko, Ryu discovers that true growth is not merely in reaching for the sky, but in bending gracefully with the winds of change in the bamboo's lesson. Finally, as the misty forests envelop a hidden valley, we meet Mei Lin, a seeker yearning for clarity. By the tranquil waters of a reflection pond and the sage wisdom of an old traveler, Mei Lin learns that the stillness of the mind reveals the untarnished essence within, in the reflection pond. Join us as we embark on a journey through these timeless parables, where each tale is a stepping stone towards a deeper understanding of the self and the world around us. Through the voices of characters touched by tranquility and guided by wisdom, we invite you to explore the essence of life itself, a journey of discovery that is as profound as it is eternal. First story, The Pebble's Wisdom. In a small village nestled between mountains and rivers, there lived an old woman named May. May was known far and wide for her wisdom and peaceful demeanor. People from neighboring villages would often make the journey to seek her counsel and guidance. One day, a troubled young man named Kaito arrived at May's doorstep. His face was etched with worry lines, and his eyes were heavy with the weight of his problems. He knocked softly on May's wooden door, which creaked open to reveal the serene face of the old woman. "Welcome, Kaito. I've been expecting you," May said, her voice like a gentle breeze rustling through leaves. She motioned for him to come inside. Kaito entered May's humble abode, filled with an array of colorful flowers and soothing incense. The air was thick with a sense of calm, a stark contrast to the turmoil in his heart. He took a seat on a cushioned mat, and May joined him, her presence radiating tranquility. "Tell me, dear one, what troubles your soul?" May inquired, her eyes fixed on Kaito with compassion. Kaito hesitated for a moment, then began pouring out his worries like a stream that had burst its banks. He spoke of his fears, his doubts, and the burdens he carried. As he spoke, May listened intently, her gaze unwavering. When Kaito had finished, May reached for a small woven basket beside her. From it, she withdrew a pebble, smooth, gray, and unassuming. She held it gently in her hand, studying it as if it held the secrets of the universe. "Kaito," May began, her voice barely above a whisper, "this pebble carries the wisdom of the river that has polished it over time. Just as the river flows without holding on to its past, you too must learn to let go." Kaito looked at May, puzzled yet intrigued. "Life is like a river," May continued, her eyes reflecting the wisdom of ages. "It is in a constant state of flow, never pausing or rewinding. We, too, must learn to flow with life, to release our grip on worries that anchor us to the past." With a gentle motion, May dropped the pebble into a small bowl of water that sat nearby. They watched as the ripples spread outward, gradually dissipating until the water was once again calm. "When you hold on to your worries, dear Kaito, they become like heavy stones in your heart. But when you let go, your heart becomes light, and your spirit can flow freely, just like the river, May explained. Kaito stared at the tranquil water, a sense of realization dawning upon him. He understood that he had been clinging to his troubles, allowing them to define him and hold him back. As the sun dipped below the horizon, bathing the room in a warm, golden glow, Kaito felt a newfound sense of peace. May's words had touched a deep chord within him, guiding him toward a path of acceptance and release. With a grateful smile, Kaito stood up to leave, his heart lighter than it had been in a long time. May accompanied him to the door, her presence like a beacon of serenity. "Remember, Kaito," May whispered, her voice a soft echo, "just as the river shapes the pebble, life's challenges shape us. Embrace them, learn from them, and then let them go. For in the letting go, you find the true essence of your being." As Kaito walked away from May's cottage, he carried with him not only the memory of her words but also the wisdom of the pebble, a wisdom that would guide him on his journey to find inner peace and harmony amidst life's currents. Second story, The Garden of Harmony. In a distant valley, nestled between two towering mountains, there lay a monastery known for its tranquil gardens. The monks who tended to these gardens were renowned for their deep understanding of harmony and balance. Among the monks was a young novice named Aki. Aki had joined the monastery with a heart full of eagerness and a mind thirsty for knowledge. He marveled at the beauty of the gardens and was determined to contribute to their splendor. Aki worked tirelessly, rearranging stones, pruning bonsai trees, and meticulously raking patterns in the sand. He believed that by making the garden more elaborate, he would be adding to its harmony. However, every morning, Aki would find his work undone. Stones would be returned to their original positions, the bonsai trees ret-rimmed, and the sand patterns smoothed out. Aki was perplexed and, at times, frustrated. One evening, as the setting sun painted the monastery in hues of gold, Aki approached the head monk, Master Ryu. "Master," Aki asked, "why do you undo my efforts each day? Am I not tending to the garden with all my heart?" Master Ryu smiled, his eyes reflecting the wisdom of years spent in contemplation. "Aki, harmony is not merely about the appearance of things. It is a dance of energies, a symphony of balance. The garden is a reflection of the mind. Your work, though skillful, was driven by desire, a desire to impress, to prove yourself." Aki lowered his gaze, humbled by Master Ryu's words. "How, then, can I contribute to the harmony of the garden?" he inquired. "Sit with me," Master Ryu invited, gesturing to a stone bench nestled beneath a cherry blossom tree. They sat in silence, their breaths merging with the soft rustle of leaves. "Listen, Aki," Master Ryu began, "harmony is not imposed upon nature, it emerges from an understanding of its flow. The garden is not a canvas for your desires, it is a canvas for your heart. When you tend to the garden, do so with a heart free from attachment and ego." Aki nodded, absorbing the profound wisdom imparted to him. In the days that followed, he approached the garden with a newfound awareness. He raked the sand not to create patterns but to feel the texture beneath his fingers. He pruned the trees not to mold them into shapes but to nurture their growth. As the weeks passed, the garden began to radiate a different kind of beauty, a beauty born not from embellishments but from the silent understanding between the gardener and the garden. One morning, as Aki tended to a delicate bonsai, he noticed Master Ryu standing beside him. The old monk's eyes twinkled with approval. "Your heart has become the garden, Aki," Master Ryu said, his voice like a gentle breeze. "You have learned that true harmony is not in the grand gestures but in the subtle dance of intention and attention." Aki smiled, a sense of peace filling his heart. He had learned that harmony was not a destination to be reached but a journey to be embraced. And in that monastery garden, amidst the stones, trees, and sand, Aki found a reflection of his own journey, a journey toward the harmony within. Third story, The Empty Teacup. In a village nestled at the foot of a mist-covered mountain, there lived a scholar named Hiro. Hiro was known far and wide for his insatiable thirst for knowledge. He had read countless scrolls, studied under renowned teachers, and debated with fellow scholars, all in pursuit of unraveling life's mysteries. One day, Hiro heard whispers of a wise Zen master who resided atop the mountain. It was said that this master held the key to a deeper understanding of existence. Intrigued and determined, Hiro embarked on a journey to meet the master. After a long and arduous climb, Hiro reached the mountaintop and was greeted by the Zen master, a serene old man with a twinkle in his eyes. The master invited Hiro into his humble abode and offered him a seat. Before Hiro could utter a word, the master began to pour tea into a cup. As the tea filled the cup, Hiro's excitement grew. He believed that in this encounter, he would find the profound wisdom he had been seeking for so long. However, the master didn't stop pouring when the cup was full. Tea spilled over the rim and onto the table. "Master," Hiro exclaimed, "the cup is full. It can't hold any more." The master continued pouring, his movements slow and deliberate, until the tea pooled around the cup and covered the table. Hiro watched in confusion and frustration, unable to comprehend the purpose of this seemingly absurd act. Finally, the master ceased pouring and set the teapot aside. He looked at Hiro with a gentle smile. "Hiro, your mind is like this teacup, overflowing with knowledge, opinions, and preconceptions. How can you receive anything new unless you empty your cup?" Hiro's brows furrowed as he grappled with the master's words. "But I've spent years accumulating knowledge. Am I to discard it all?" The master shook his head. "No, dear scholar. Knowledge is a valuable vessel, but wisdom flows into an empty mind. To truly understand, you must first empty your cup of preconceived notions and judgments." Hiro sat in silence, the weight of the master's words sinking in. He realized that his pursuit of knowledge had led to a mind cluttered with concepts, leaving little room for new insights to take root. With newfound humility, Hiro began his journey of unlearning. He spent days in quiet contemplation, gradually releasing his grip on his accumulated knowledge. As his mind emptied, he discovered the joy of approaching life with fresh eyes, like a beginner. Over time, Hiro's interactions with the Zen master transformed. They engaged in conversations that flowed like a meandering stream, unburdened by the need to prove or impress. Hiro's cup became a vessel of receptivity, ready to be filled with the wisdom that emerged from the present moment. Years later, Hiro became a teacher in his own right, sharing the lesson of the empty teacup with students who sought his guidance. He often reflected on the journey that had led him to true understanding, a journey that began with the overflow of a teacup and ended with the emptiness of a receptive heart. And so, atop the mist-covered mountain, the scholar Hiro learned that true wisdom is not solely found in the accumulation of knowledge, but in the willingness to let go, to embrace the emptiness that allows for the infusion of profound insights, like the serene fragrance of a freshly brewed cup of tea. Fourth story, The Bamboo's Lesson. In a distant land, where misty forests whispered ancient secrets, there stood a grove of bamboo. Tall and elegant, the bamboo swayed gently in the breeze, their rustling leaves singing a soothing melody. Among them was a young bamboo shoot named Ryu. Ryu was filled with a burning desire to grow swiftly and touch the sky, much like the towering bamboo that surrounded him. Every day, he stretched his emerald green stalk toward the sun, yearning for rapid growth. He would compare himself to the older bamboo, feeling frustrated by his perceived lack of progress. One day, Ryu's restlessness caught the attention of an old and wise bamboo named Zenko. Zenko's branches, weathered by countless seasons, held an air of tranquility that seemed to touch the very essence of the grove. "Patience, young Ryu," Zenko whispered in the gentlest of voices. "Growth is not a race, but a dance with time." Ryu, though curious, couldn't grasp Zenko's words. But I want to stand tall like you, he replied, his voice tinged with impatience. Zenko chuckled softly, the sound reminiscent of leaves whispering in the wind. Let me share a secret with you, Ryu. I, too, once yearned to reach the sky with haste. But I learned that growth cannot be rushed. Each day, I absorbed sunlight, drank rain, and extended my roots deep into the earth. Gradually, I found strength, resilience, and the wisdom of patience. Ryu pondered Zenko's words, his young heart starting to comprehend their deeper meaning. Over the following weeks, he observed Zenko and the other bamboo in the grove with newfound awareness. He noticed how they swayed gracefully in harmony with the wind, bending without breaking. As the seasons passed, Ryu began to focus less on his height and more on his connection to the earth beneath him. He realized that growth was not just about reaching upward, but also about grounding oneself in the present moment. One stormy night, a fierce wind blew through the grove, bending the bamboo to its will. The next morning, Ryu looked around and saw something astonishing. While the older bamboo had swayed with the wind, Ryu himself had remained rigid, stubbornly resisting the forces of nature. With a sense of humility, Ryu approached Zenko. I see now, Ryu admitted, true growth is not just about standing tall, but about being flexible and adapting to life's challenges. Zenko nodded, his leaves rustling in agreement. Indeed, Ryu. Just as the bamboo bends but does not break, so must we learn to yield to life's currents while remaining rooted in our essence. From that day forward, Ryu embraced the wisdom of the bamboo grove. He stretched upward with patience and grace, his roots delving deeper into the earth, anchoring him to the wisdom of the ages. Over time, Ryu grew not only in stature but also in wisdom. He became a symbol of resilience and adaptability, inspiring those who beheld his graceful form. And as the misty forests whispered their secrets, Ryu stood tall and serene, a testament to the profound lesson he had learned from the ancient bamboo, a lesson of growth, patience, and the beauty of bending without breaking. Fifth and final story, the reflection pond. In a hidden valley, shrouded by mist and embraced by mountains, there lay a tranquil pond of crystal-clear water. The pond was rumored to possess a unique magic. It could reflect the true essence of those who gazed upon its surface. People from distant lands would travel to this valley, hoping to catch a glimpse of their inner selves within the pond's mirror-like waters. Some sought guidance, others sought clarity, and a few sought validation of their worth. One such traveler was a young woman named Mei Lin. Mei Lin had journeyed far and wide, carrying the weight of uncertainty in her heart. Her steps were heavy as she approached the reflection pond, her reflection appearing faintly on its surface. As Mei Lin knelt by the pond, peering into its depths, she expected to see a profound revelation, an answer that would set her on the right path. Yet, all she saw was her own external form, unchanged by the wisdom she had hoped to find. Frustration welled up within Mei Lin, and she cried out, "Why do you not show me the truth I seek, O pond?" Just then, an old sage emerged from the shadows, his presence as serene as the moonlight reflecting on the water. He approached Mei Lin with a kind smile. "Patience, my dear," the sage said, "the pond reflects not just your physical form, but the state of your mind and heart." "But I see nothing beyond what I already know," Mei Lin lamented. The sage extended his hand and handed her a smooth pebble. "Cast this pebble into the pond," he instructed. Mei Lin did as she was told, and as the pebble touched the water, ripples spread across the surface, distorting her reflection. "Look again," the sage said. Mei Lin gazed into the water, her reflection now shimmering and fragmented by the ripples. "Your reflection was obscured by the disturbance you created," the sage explained. "Desires and attachments create ripples in the pond of your mind, distorting your perception of self. To see your true essence, you must let go of these ripples." Mei Lin nodded, her heart gradually understanding the sage's words. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, releasing her worries, doubts, and desires like stones sinking to the bottom of the pond. As the ripples subsided, Mei Lin opened her eyes once more, and this time, she saw her reflection differently. It was not just her external appearance, but a glimpse into her soul, a reflection of her essence, untarnished by the turbulence of her thoughts. Tears welled up in Mei Lin's eyes as she felt a profound sense of clarity and peace. She turned to the sage, gratitude shining in her gaze. "Thank you," she whispered. The sage placed a hand on her shoulder. "Remember, my dear, just as the pond's surface becomes still when the ripples fade, so too does the mind reflect truth when it is free from the disturbances of attachment." With a heart lightened by newfound understanding, Mei Lin left the reflection pond, carrying with her not just the image of her reflection but the wisdom of the sage's teachings. And as she continued on her journey, she embraced the practice of stilling the ripples in her mind, seeking not just her own reflection, but the depths of her true essence that lay beyond.